Hey everyone, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. This video is the third installment of a three-part series in which I show you how you can turn the silhouette sketches offered as freebies on MistyHilltops.com into finished traveler's notebook layouts. In the first video, I showed the various options you have for the silhouette sketch and the different ways you can use it. In the second video, I demonstrate how the sketch works with digital papers, how you can prepare the sketch for printing. And in today's video, I'll show you how the sketch becomes a finished layout. By the way, you can find the links to the previous videos in the description box below, and you can find the sketches and all the other freebies on my website, MistyHilltops.com. I'm working with a digital version of the Transatlantic Mega Collection by Carta. So, let's get started. I already printed the page that I prepared in the previous video, and then I went ahead and cut all the shapes. Now I'm ready to assemble the page, and I'm working with this photo, and here's the spread. I'm actually starting a whole new traveler's notebook book that documents my trip with my family to Israel in 2019. So this is a fresh new book, and I'm just following the sketch the way that I planned it in my Silhouette software. So I'm putting the pieces of paper together, layering them in the right places. I already made sure also that the papers have roughed up edges. I run a Carta around the edges to do that. So all I need to do is start to glue things down at this point. And most of the work is already done because the overall layout was determined by the sketch. So I'm just gluing the various pieces down and adding some extra embellishments there as well. So here comes a little paper flag, and I'm using some cardstock-ish paper for my print. I don't really like it, but I have a lot of it and I'm going to use it up. It's slightly thicker than copy paper, but it's not as thick as I would like it to be. So once I have used up this paper, I'm looking forward to getting some different kind of paper that is slightly thicker than the one that I have right now. It also doesn't work with a trimmer or anything. It's just really not such good quality paper, but it works for when I just need to do straight cuts with my scissors. So I'm just still putting things down in the correct places, trying to keep in mind the layers. It always ends up slightly different than how I originally set it out, but that's okay. So for me, I love papers. I love having them show, and so my heart aches when I have to cover up a beautifully patterned paper with other papers or other things. So I always want to make sure that you can see those beautiful patterns and the papers get to be shown and seen. So anyway, I am adding the strip there, and I'm so happy with that circle. That circle turned out to be exactly the size of one of my die cuts. I never measured it or anything when I created the template. I just went ahead and thought, okay, whatever it works out, and then whatever size die cut goes with it, that's what I'll be using. But it was exactly the size of a die cut that I have, and so I didn't have to bother with anything. So I think I'll be using that circle size in a lot more of my sketches. So I also went ahead and die cut a couple of flowers, just for some more embellishments, and then some leaves just to have some florals and other things there. And I might end up adding a few more of my own word strips. I made my own word strips, which obviously I'll be sharing with you at some point as freebies as well. But for now, I hadn't done them yet when I made this page. But the beautiful thing is this kit comes with a lot of embellishments and a lot of extras, and I started printing out these extras and they go beautifully. I finally have an ephemera pack that works with the embellishments or with the papers that I have. And sadly, this kit doesn't really have flowers in the digital version, and so I don't know if the paper version has that, but the digital version doesn't have flowers, so I have to keep adding my own flowers. See here, I just want to have a little thread just rolled up and putting a little messy thread there somewhere. So I do add more things than are in the sketch, although I think in the sketch I put in the little thready thing there as well. And here is a little piece of ribbon that I still also want to put down there. So now the photo needs to go on there, and I'm making sure that that piece of thread is actually glued down so it doesn't move around very much at this point. So that's what the dabbing was all about. And then you see I just cut a tiny piece of ribbon, because what's the use of having it all covered up by elements anyway, and only a small part of the ribbon showing. So I don't want to be wasteful with my ribbons, and so I just cut tiny pieces of it. So here comes, I forgot to add the little foliage underneath, so I have to kind of like push it underneath there, that flower, but it works. It still works. They're small pieces, and I only put glue somewhere in the middle of the flower. I don't glue up the flower all the way. And here I decided, because that flower was already glued down, to just cut off a little bit of the stem there from the leaf, so that way it looks more tucked in than it actually is. And I don't put glue on all pieces of the flower. I like when things kind of stick off the page a little bit, pop off, and give the page a little more dimension. And so I only glue parts of the flower down in the foliage and things like that. So, and again, you can get a lot of dimension if you just rough up the edges. And there are distressing tools I know that you can get on the market. I simply use a card that I run around the edges of anything, and that works just as fine. And so here I have a couple more little flowers that I'm arranging with the flowers that I already put down. And then comes the title. So for the title, I decided to go with partly stamped and then partly die cut. So here I'm stamping at the, and then the die cut will be the park, if you could guess from the letters that you see there lying around on the side. So I do like to use my die cuts rather than sticker sheets, while I do recognize the convenience of having letters stick already, rather than me having to apply glue and getting things a little messy there. But I like the fact that you can use die cut alphabets with any of your papers. You can not waste stickers by when they come in sheets, then there's always a bunch of letters that you never end up using. So anyway, I like using, so I got a bunch of different die cut alphas that I can use on my layouts in various ways. So here I'm trying to also make sure that I tuck the title a little bit under the thread there, so to connect it with the layout design with other parts of this page, to bring a little connection there and not just have it hang in the air. So I tuck it underneath there, and this is, I think, the end of my page. So here is the finished result. I hope you liked this video. Consider giving it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Oh, here are a few more close-ups, and have a great day. Bye.